Who needs a paper map in a pre-GPS world when you have charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent? And Chichi Rodriguez in the back seat, right? Exactly. You don't. You don't. To Wong Foo, thanks for everything. Julie Newmar, 12 syllables, long as hell, is a 1995 road trip comedy drama directed by Beeban Kidron and written by Douglas Carter Bean. The film stars Wesley Snipes from Blade, the late Patrick Swayze from Ghost, Dirty Dancing, and a film I recently covered, Donnie Darko, and John Leguizamo. This is the first film on my channel that I'm covering that I have never seen before. I've never seen this before. I know, take my card away now. This was highly, highly suggested. And at first I was like, what the hell is that? And then I saw the post and I was like, oh, I think I've seen that. Oh no. The only exposure I had to this movie was one night, I don't know, it was like a few years ago. I was hanging out, right, with this musclehead, and he, for whatever reason, decided to put it on the TV. But, you know, like I said, I wasn't paying attention because I was reclined and I was looking up at the ceiling, so. Too busy getting the good old guac nitro rocket blaster 3000. But yeah, can I just say, this was a great film. This was so good. This was so good. It's fun. There's a lot of inside jokes. Well, before my time, I'll say that the performances from these three men are all three very different takes, and the message gets across. It's, I don't know, all around, it's a feel-good feature. We follow three drag queens who win a pageant and set off on a cross-country road trip until their car breaks down in a small conservative Nebraska town. They end up stranded for a weekend, and instead of laying low, they shake things up. Teach the locals about love, acceptance, and transformation within the community. And it's done with style, sass, and a lot of heart. So grab your wigs, boas, makeup, whatever you'll need for a weekend trip to Snydersville. Cause guess what? We're revisiting To Wong Foo from 1995. The film opens with one of our three main protagonists fresh out the shower, about to step into the persona we will come to know as Vita Boheme. Our second protagonist, Noxema Jackson, is also at her home getting dolled up. She's got these black, gold, and silver eyelashes on. It's very dramatic, very drag. Starting the film out this way is only right. This is also the only time we see these characters in their male forms. I have quite a few friends who do drag. Some do it for a living and some do it for fun, and I always find it so interesting how they describe the transformation as like this spiritual process, and it kind of is. You know, honestly, you are assuming a new identity. Some people change up their voice and the mannerisms, becoming a whole different character. I was a bit taken back to see the film's numbers were choreographed by Kenny Ortega, as in High School Musical Kenny Ortega. I wonder what the big homie's up to these days. Huh. Noxie has this honey orange cheetah gown on with an ostrich-lined top, and Vita has this old-school royal purple dress with a matching detailed coat. Our third protagonist, Chichi Rodriguez, comes in, walking through the streets with the cheap lime green dress on. Mannequin head, wig in the right hand, jean jacket on the back. Looks like we have a baby queen on our hands. Miss Chichi lives on the rough side of town. Somebody throws a glass, like they throw a vase or something. Vita and Nox are royalty within their community because at the ball, they are worshipped by the crowd of queens outside the entrance. While the contesting queens are all in the dressing room together, Chi-Chi is rushing down a flight of stairs, just unorganized, throwing her wig on to get on stage. This setup and these like little visual cues with this character, it's so well done. And can I be honest? Out of everybody on that stage, Vita has the most polished outfit. I'm gonna say it. The host comes out to present this year's Drag Queen of the Year, but the announcer will be last year's winner, who is... You can probably take a guess. I said it as soon as we got to this place. I was like, all right, where he at? I was listening out for that laugh. Miss Rachel Tension comes down from the ceiling in a goddamn Confederate flag. Oh, be serious. Be serious right now. You know who this is by this outline. It's RuPaul. Rachel tells everybody the winner of the contest will receive an all-expense paid round-trip ticket to Hollywood, where she can compete in the Drag Queen of America contest. But that she turns out to be a they. And no, I'm not talking about Demi Lovato, but it's a tie. There are two winners. Chi-Chi starts walking forward before Rachel can even get it out, but the winners are Vita and Noxima, and the life just goes right out of Chi's eye. Look, somebody give my girl a hug. She trips, running off stage in distress. Bad sportsmanship, Chi-Chi. The two winners change outfits, traveling up the staircase to leave when they run into...
That little Latin boy in drag is crying. Find out why that little Latin boy in drag is crying.
The first time I heard this line, I had to pause it and laugh for like 3 minutes. Look, that little Latin boy in drag is crying. Find out why that little Latin boy in drag is crying. Noxie's like, little Latin boy in drag, why are you crying? Chi-Chi starts babbling about how she's never won anything in her life. She really wanted this, and whenever she wants something, she's always getting laughed at, blah, blah. And maybe one day, some nice guy will just scoop her up, sweep her up, and take her somewhere nice, instead of these old men who just, you know, their big greasy bellies who just, and then leave when the time is up. So damn dramatic. And then she's like, well, no, that's what it is. I hate my life. I hate myself. I hate everything. But what makes this all 10 times funnier is Noxie's reaction.
I'm a loser. I hate my life. I hate myself. No, please. I hate everything. I hate it all.
You are a winner.
Vita can't even come up with a good excuse. She's like looking over at Noxie. She's like, you're a winner. And you're a winner. And... Vita says a line to Noxie after telling her to come upstairs to their dressing room to have a little talk that is pretty much the core of her character and morality.
Noxima. What? We must all help others.
Vita wants to take Chi-Chi to Hollywood with them, suggesting they sell their tickets and all three of them go by bus. And Noxie is like, that child is Latin. You don't want to get mixed up in that Latin mess. And Miss Vita is shocked that out of all people, Noxie is so quick to turn the other cheek. Because Vita remembers the first time she laid eyes on a certain young ebony enchantress in the rough, and how through styling and the occasional makeup tip, she helped her look just a little bit less like Mom's Mabley. Mom's Mabley? Not too much, mama. Not too much. Watch it. She's begging her like, now on those steps is a dear little Spanish soul working that, oh my God, working... I can't even read the fucking line. That Spanish soul, so unserious. Working that tired Abby Lane drag for what it's worth all alone, and she just wants to be special, to have a moment in the starlight. We cut and see the three ladies walking in Times Square before stopping in the China Bowl. The entire place lights up at the sight of the winners. We even get a Naomi Campbell cameo.
I wish she was as beautiful as you.
Oh, honey. Good luck.
Robin Williams is also in this in an uncredited role, which just threw me. I was like, what the hell? What is happening right now? And he's an old friend of Vita's. Mr. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, the man of money matters, Vita refers to him. For the favor of receiving Vita and Noxie's plane tickets, he hands them a card to an automobile joint where they can get a car for $50 if they bring his name up. The plan is to take Chi along with them and drive across the country to LA. And look, Knox is having a whole fit saying how the country people don't like their kind, but everybody's busy talking over each other and laughing.
Start with me, we will go on. I've gotta go.
Then John dips out just as Vida checks her makeup when her eyes light on a picture behind her of a young Julie Newmar. The picture is autographed to Wong Foo. Thanks for everything. And she is, to say the least, blowing this out of proportion. She's like, wait, hold on. Everybody shut up. Everybody shut the up. I am having a moment. Even though none of them know who Wong Foo is. Does that matter? No. Vida says they've got to take this message across the land as their sovereign token. So she steals it. At the car dealer, Chi-Chi sees a pastel yellow 67 Cadillac DeVille convertible, and the queens start gagging over it. But the dealer tells them it'll never get them across the country, begging them to instead choose the Toyota Corolla. So it looks like it's come down to the age-old question.
Style or substance?
They take the convertible. Chi-Chi is in the back trying to read directions from a map. Cannot relate. Siri will spit that joint right back at me. Stop playing. I don't know how y'all did this. The map, what is it? MapQuest back in the day. How am I supposed to read a paper and drive it? Like, what if I was in the car by myself? How did y'all get it? See, this is why older people like know everything. They are really good at direction. Like your parents will be like, you kids and your cell phones, all you gotta do is go down 2 lights, make a left behind the auto parts. You can't miss it. You go past the Target, up by the Walmart, and it's gonna be in the cut at that pink sign with the dildo on it, and then make another left, and then that's the destination. This is why my hard-headed ass will just smile and nod like a foreigner who doesn't understand English. I will leave and just wing it at this point. The ladies just passed Philadelphia and their next destination is a town called Ballackinwood. Everyone learns it's where Vida is from, and Knox says she'll be on the lookout for the historical marker. Shady. The town is full of mansions, so it just shows Miss Belvida comes from the dough. But Vida gave up the dough to be Vida, right? They find her old house, and at the perfect time, an elder woman comes outside, locking eyes with her before rushing back inside looking disgusted. This causes Vida to rip up their paper map, and now they're driving with no direction. Chi is freaking, but the winners say they'll survive off instincts and exquisite wit. Noxie goes into a monologue, which is definitely one of the best lines in the film. She says for Chi-Chi to become a drag queen, there are some things she's gonna have to learn. She's like, what do you mean a drag queen? I am a drag queen.
Oh, child, no. You would simply put a boy in a dress.
She continues, when a straight man puts on a dress to get sexual kicks, he is a transvestite. When a man is a woman trapped in a man's body and has the little operation, he is a transsexual. And when a gay man has way too much fashion sense for one gender, he is a drag queen. And when a tired little Latin boy puts on a dress, he is simply a boy in a dress. So Chi-Chi's like, oh, okay, since I'm a boy in a dress, then y'all, I'm out.
Look at her running like she's running across the border.
Vida persuades Chi to get her skinny ass back in the car after promising they'd salute her with the title of being a drag queen. And in the meantime, she can call herself a drag princess. This black trash bag is crazy. Knox tells her there are steps to becoming a queen, and after Chi asks how many, she just pulls one out of her ass. 4. There are 4 steps to becoming a queen, but of course she'll know when she's completed them all. Yeah, In only a matter of seconds, the aunties tell Chi she's past step 1, after Chi makes a self-aware comment about being a boy in a dress and having the drive to go down the road of trial and tribulation to blossom into a full-fledged queen. When night falls, the queen stop at a budget host very cautiously because Vita says it's so middle America, and Knox recommends they sleep in the car, but Chi-Chi is like, hell no, I need a real bed. So the bitch hops out the Cadillac, hard-headed. Noxie's trying to reason with everyone because people can be cruel, it can get violent, her and Vita have been there before, but it's too late because Miss Rainey Rodriguez is already out the car and she's walking. A random guy whistles at Chi before they come inside and are greeted by one of the managers who's like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have met you outside. What do you mean by that? There's no discrimination though. He tells the ladies welcome. There's wine and cheese and you'll find many of your friends inside. Friends? Turns out there's a women's league basketball convention. The next day, everyone's playing ball behind the building and Knox is, oh my god, showing off the basketball skill. Okay, Juana man. The aunties commend Chi-Chi for her bravery to enter the host establishment and tell her she has now passed step 2. Ignore adversity. The girls are back on the road again. It looks like we're deep in the boonies, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried for my chicas, I ain't gonna lie. Chi asks where they are, and Knox says that the last person she saw on the side of the road only had 2 teeth in his mouth, so she's guessing West Virginia. A cop car pulls them over, and Vita's like, what in gay hell? We in trouble now because Vita's license, her first name says Eugene.
Eugene. Eugene. Eugene.
This Sheriff Piggy is the main antagonist of the film. And see, strike one is this guy walking up to the car with his hand already on the gun. Like, this is why I cannot stand these mother truckers. Anyway, he tells them he pulled them over because a tail light is out. Vita tells the cop they are 3 career girls from New York City, lost and in need of directions to the nearest hotel.
You know, we don't go for that around these parts. White girls riding around with in space.
Oh! Chi-Chi is like, Vita, you better talk to the man, you speak honky. The pig calls Vita pretty before making her step out the vehicle alone. Oh no, not this. The cop tells Vita not to worry about the license. Then he puts his arm around her and tells her to give him a kiss. Disgusting. He does the classic, I know what you girls want, and Piggy lifts her up on top of his car, sticks his hand between her legs, and Vita yells, get your hand off my dick, buddy! And this is definitely one of my biggest problems with this movie. He didn't even, it's not like he hit his head first. It's not like they're on a dirt road. Like he ain't hit no rock, he ain't hit no pavement, no nothing. So how's he knocked out? I read that before filming this entire scene, Patrick Swayze secretly placed a corn cob down the front of his underwear, and the actor, I think his name is like Charles Penn or something. His expression of shock was very real. Everyone gets out the car and Vita's like, he put his hand up my dress and he tried to have his way with me, and Chi-Chi, per usual, is the one to actually go out the way and check, and she's like, I knew this accountant who died on me this one time. And after feeling the pulse, she believes him to be deceased. A dead white policeman in middle America. Chi-Chi, let's go, come on. Let's get back in the car. Come on. I was screaming at the TV, especially with this happening, after this happening, for them to take his gun. I would have took his gun. Yeah, I would have. Like, baby, I need to protect yourselves. One of Vita's heels are left on the ground, and okay. Sure, she was panicking. She was just assaulted. I'm sure there's a lot of adrenaline happening because they think he's dead, right? But you didn't feel the dirt under your feet when you got back in the car and started driving. You didn't feel, and it come up like we supposed to be thinking like detectives here. We supposed to cover our tracks. The ladies make a pit stop to change their outfits, and the odds are not in their favor tonight because now the car won't start. Knox starts going off because she could have been in an environmentally controlled plane with her complimentary peanuts and warm towel, and she is like, first of all, I ain't asked you to be here, come with y'all. No, I don't think so. Did I ask you to make me jump all over hoops like a circus poodle? No, I don't think so. And do I want to go to jail because of some cop killer? No, I don't think books them. So when she gets to the next town, Miss Chichi Rodriguez is jumping on the first man and riding him all the way back to New York City.
And away from you two puckered up, stuck up putas, cause this trip sucks. It sucks.
Baby even admits she would have dropped Knox and Vita just like that to go back to New York. So Vita says, well, since you've learned absolutely nothing, then I hereby strip you of all your princess points.
Ooh, that's voodoo.
You can't do that.
Let's go.
She said, ooh, that's voodoo. That's voodoo. Vita channels Aretha Franklin and says a little prayer to Wong Foo's picture before the Latina Marilyn Monroe walks out into the night to find some help. And Vita says, this little girl is gonna get kidnapped by a mountain man and then we gonna have to rescue her. Look, all I gotta say is God works in mysterious ways because a truck is coming down the road and he stops for Chi-Chi. This young boy's name is Bobby Ray. He picks up the other two queens. Vita grabs Wong Foo's picture and they ride off to Snydersville. When they get to Snydersville, Noxema's looking around like, girl, we about to get lynched out here. Bobby Ray starts hollering for the couple who run the premises named Virgil and Carol Ann, telling them a Cadillac is broken down a few miles back. Carol shows the queens their room. They got a nice, big, spacious joint with the bathroom, towel, luxury, huh?
Got an overhead light here. Ooh. Well,
Hey, look, one thing about the lettuce, greens, bacon, tomato plus community is we do not play about that overhead lighting. Turn it off. Vita wants a more inhabitable space, but baby doll, this is the presidential suite, so be alright. Carol Ann says their car should be fixed tomorrow morning, so they only have to be here one night. The next morning, the ladies come out their suite to the Snydersville crew and, oh, I am very uncomfortable right now. The girl in the yellow next to Bobby Ray is Bobby Lee, one of Carol Ann's daughters. When the queens pass, she says, for girls, they sure are strong and big. We get another miracle though, because Virgil tells the queens that it'll only take him like 5 minutes to fix the car, you know, after he gets the parts. He doesn't have any Cadillac parts, and especially the old ones, with this being a 67 model. He can order the pieces Monday and the queens start freaking out because it's Saturday morning, so what the hell we gonna do now, y'all? You can only imagine how uncomfortable they are in the sticks, the boonies. Vita asks the group of women if there are any historical points of interest that they should not miss. And a woman named Beatrice tells Vita that the elder woman on her left, Clara, is mute.
she can't hear. She don't talk. She's just a little, you know.
Operation Decorator Storm is in full effect since they have to make the best of what they can for the weekend, and the queens glam up their entire presidential suite. Around this time, Sheriff Piggy is found on the ground alive by 2 local cops. When the girls see Miss Loretta, storming through the town, Beatrice updates the queens on the town gossip. Loretta is a low self-esteem alcoholic. Her father used to call her baby ugly. Why she took to the bottle as soon as she could swallow. Across the road, there's a woman in a trailer, and Beatrice says the lady and her husband ain't had sex for nearly 7 years. Another mess is the youngest of the Bud family who works at the shop, who's got a sad little stutter. She's like, oh, it just bring a little tear to your eye. Oh, and then there's Clara over there. Just messy. Beatrice says you can say anything to her. She doesn't hear and she can't talk. There's no medical reason either. Her husband lost the movie theater business and ran off with the lady who used to be a distributor. We see Clara drop a photograph and Noxie takes the opportunity to get up and run after her. Over by another building is Jimmy Joe, the only other black person on the premises who runs the Rooster and Pony.
He is the nicest colored man you ever want to meet.
Noxie picks up the photograph of Robert Mitchum and starts slowly chasing after Clara, and she does a Yui. She's running back to her house and Knox is behind her like, I'm coming to get you. Sheriff Piggy files a report and his peers laugh at him because he got beat up by a girl, but in Piggy's words, they were boys, 3 of them.
And one of them was black.
course he had to point that out. So because his peers are laughing at him, that only infuriates him further, and since they don't want to do anything about it, he's gonna take matters into his own hands. Chi-Chi is taking a walk when she's cornered by a few rednecks. I don't like where this is going. But before anything happens that doesn't need to, Bobby Ray comes out the cut and saves her like a knight in shining armor. Or a knight in shining pickup truck. Vita comes in the kitchen asking Carol Ann for more towels, and she sees tears in her eyes. Now her excuse is chopped onions, so Vita gives her a pair of her sunglasses. But uh-oh, Carol's got a shiner on her face. That balding bastard. Carol drops another excuse like, one of the boxes from the closet just fell, you know the deal. And her back is turned, so Vita takes a sip of the chili she's been cooking, adding paprika, and Carol starts flipping out because Virgil doesn't like spicy things. You know, Miss Vita Bohem is very, very observant, right? And she couldn't help but notice there are no onions in the kitchen. Clara's got an entire book dedicated to old Hollywood stars, and Noxie peeps all the portraits and collections in her house before sitting down next to her to keep company. In Bobby Ray's car, Chi-Chi is kikiing and all hard eyes for this little scrawny country boy with blue eyes, the color of window cleaner, she says. They go for a little walk, and Chi-Chi discovers a billboard that Bobby vandalized with the phrase, "Love that Coke," where he painted, "Love that Chi-Chi" over it. Chi-Chi calls him so romantical and starts crying. But Bobby Ray assures if she was his girl, she'd never cry for anything except maybe from happiness. I think all the Chi-Chi scenes really cement that John, in my opinion, has the best performance of the three. I don't even really want to pin them against each other, but he has the best emotional and physical acting in this movie. Bobby Lee reveals that Bobby Ray told everybody who Vita and the Queens really are.
You're a career girl.
And she's like, but yeah, I could never be one of those. So we know her arc is about to start. Vita tells her to imagine good things happening and then make them happen. Bobby Lee says, she's like, what if I want to imagine a boy that I want to go out with? And Vita's like, let's set the standards a little bit higher. Like, no, for real. Noxie is talking off Clara's ear, telling her about her plan of being discovered by a producer when she gets to Hollywood to star in the lush film version of The Life of Miss Dorothy Dandridge. Too bad, baby. Halle Berry got it in '99. Noxie starts naming all of Dorothy's films, missing one that was named Road something.
Right road. Thank you, Carmen Jones.
What was that? Noxima starts naming more, and Clara reminds her again of a film, then asks Noxie if she wants to try Lena Horne's films. I mean, wow. Virgil tastes Carol's chili, pointing out the spices, so of course this 2-incher pulls the classic abuser line. You do this to make me mad, don't you? Why do you want to make me mad? Then bucks at her, threatening to hit her while laughing. Cut his dick off, Carol. Sheriff Piggy is making a list he titled Places for Homos, which comprise of flower shops, ballet schools, flight attendees, restaurants for brunch, antique shops, etc. The most conservative middle America way of thinking, right? Noxima brings Clara to the bar, and look at Grandma, smiling with a whole new persona. Noxima really just brought her back to life. All the women at the table are making decorations for an event that they have called Strawberry Social. So what is a strawberry social, you might ask? Well, the ladies make strawberry pies, then they bring the strawberry pies to the center of town.
And we eat the strawberry pies, and we go home.
Vita and Noxima start telling them that they need to have a theme for the social, and we learn another woman's name, Myrna, who runs the beauty parlor. The ladies all go into the parlor and get dolled up for Girls' Day, and we see the change starting to take place. Beatrice is riding with Jimmy Joe, who hits a bump in the road, causing her body to scoot closer. Lord have mercy. They gonna have mixed kids. They gonna have a little Jaden. When they all come out the parlor, the rednecks are hooting and hollering, so Noxima confronts the Mayo boys, demanding that they apologize to her and the ladies. The main guy, Tommy, lets her know he ain't apologizing to no one. So Noxie takes her sharp nails and grips that gorilla, walking him over to formally apologize. From now on, Tommy is to take a bath, comb his hair, and put on a clean shirt, and always say, "Good afternoon, ladies." The queens and the ladies enter Billy Bud's shop, where he's got nothing but dull and depressing clothing, so Noxima takes it upon herself to remove a rope and go to the second level, even though Bud said all he's got is on the bottom floor. Don't tell me it's a body up there.
Look! They're from the 60s!
Now, what the hell he got all that up there for? Billy Bud says they're all his grandmother's old stuff when she opened the joint and they never sold. So you know it's movie makeover time. Myrna comes out the shop looking like she stepped out the 70s Groove is in the Heart music video. Come on, bitch. Clara comes out with another 70s outfit, very hippie, very nice. She need a joint to complete it. Yeah, this is just beautiful. Everybody's got their own makeover, and across the dirt road, Carol is watching in awe. Vita gives Billy a book that she says has been sort of a Bible for her. The autobiography of Diana Vreeland.
Ooh, check yourself, Loretta, or you wreck yourself.
Carol is still gagging over her girls having some fun by the window until Virgin Virgil comes in mocking her, tasting the chili that's still too damn spicy. Then he throws it at the cabinets. Billy has ordered a bigger hardcover copy of Diana's autobiography and is reading aloud to himself with no stutter, mind you. Chi-Chi comes up to Vita and Bobby Lee at Jimmy Joe saying she's got a secret romance, and Bobby Lee's like, "Oh my god, girl, I got a secret romance too." Little did she know. Chi-Chi starts saying how her poppy is built like a brick, and and Vita snatches her away from the table for a chat before she says too much. All the women are hanging on the porch when Bobby Ray comes walking out the night with the suit on and flowers in hand. So you know Bobby Lee is like, "Oh my god, Miss Vita, you were right. I kept imagining, and here he is. God, girl." And Chi-Chi is a bit gagged because, you know, that's supposed to be her man, her puppy. Bobby Ray speaks to Bobby Lee first, and right when she thinks he's about to ask her out, he instead asks her to take the little ones inside so he can talk to Miss Chi-Chi Rodriguez in private.
Bobby Lee, mamita, don't be so sensitive.
She collects her flowers and tells Bobby Ray to come back in an hour. Vita tells Chi-Chi that this little crush is completely out of the question, and you know Miss Rainey Rodriguez is going to put up a fight, put up a squabble. This chick is saying how much they have in common.
Oh yes, like for starters, the same business in between your legs. Boink, 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 boink.
And Lord have mercy, you know, again, instead of shutting up, right, and listening to some real shit, Chi-Chi goes on the defense saying that these old bitches are just mad that she's young and word, she got a poppy, a blue-eyed window cleaner colored poppy. She's like, "Who loves you, Vita?" Nobody. That's who. Not even your rich mommy and daddy. See, cause now, not little girl, I'm tired, little girl. See, you talking about shit you don't know about. Just young and delusional. You know, Chi-Chi is arguing that even though she knows that Bobby Lee likes Bobby Ray, why can't she have her knight in shining pickup truck?
You know, I'm just so sick and tired of this freakazoid white lady telling the black lady and the Latin lady which way is up, down, and under because she's vanilla white superior.
Okay, wait, period. You ate that one little thing. I'm gonna give you that. I kind of agree with you there. Chi-Chi says, right after the Cadillac gets fixed, y'all should just go ahead and leave because I'm staying. And Noxie with all these damn references.
Well, all right, Miss Miss Jennifer Holliday. You go ahead and stay.
I will admit, I probably said it in the intro, but a lot of these references were before my time. But context clues, right? But this one, I definitely know. If you don't get it, Jennifer Holliday, she was the original Effie in Dreamgirls, and she sung the
I'm telling you, I'm not going, I'm staying in you, in you, in you.
Vida and Chi-Chi start verbally attacking each other until Vida hears Carol Ann screaming somewhere in the building. Knox is on the fence of minding her business because, she on that whole that's white people business. I'm not getting killed for no white people. I get it, but do the right thing. Do the right thing, right? Fight the battle. And Vida is Captain Savaho, as she should, because we need to do something about this man. Chi-Chi's cuts are getting deep. I'm gonna slap the shit out this look. She's telling Vida, you're not a queen because you rule people or sit on a throne. You're a queen because you couldn't cut it as a man, so you had to put on a dress. Fighting words. Vida walks forward in a short dramatic moment and the dangling light chain yanks off her wig. So that's it, bitch. She rushes upstairs, kicking down the couple's door. The lamp is on the floor. Chairs turned over. Carol's like, no, please, Vida, leave. Just leave. Vida tells Noxie to take care of Carol and shuts the door because Virgil is about to get a beat down. So Virgil, I gather you like hitting ladies. Some ladies need to get hit. Then conversely, some men need to be hit back.
Damn.
Carol Ann is a mess in the hallway. She's like, Virgil's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill her. And Chi-Chi's like, there's something you should know about Vida, mommy.
Well, Vida works out a lot.
And worked out Vida tosses Virgil outside like the trash he is. Sheriff Picky has gone through his list with no luck. He's got the road blocked off so he can put up the pic of Vida next to everybody's face. It's not. Even has a little moment of disgust when the third car is a black man. I mean, just really acting like Vida is some serial killer and she wiped out a whole diner or something. But like all she did was kick you and you got knocked out on the ground. You so mad. You so mad. Why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? That's the male ego for you. And what makes you think the night that he pulled them over, Vida told him that they were career girls, right? And they were traveling. So what makes you think that they are I was about to say in the city, in that state still? Carol is drinking wine at the table saying they should just get rid of all the men, and the queens are like, oh, they're not all that bad. Chi-Chi goes outside to talk to her knight in shining pickup truck, where she reveals her entire life. She's always wanted someone who would understand how she felt inside, and someone who could hold her every night. And then Bobby Ray showed up and he was it.
You made me feel like the most perfect girl.
I don't have to do that. You are the perfect girl.
This is breaking my heart. He tells her she's got class and glamour, she's exotic, she's no nonsense. Chi-Chi just is the type of woman who would never lie to him. Ouch. And she's got to take a seat for this one. She's like, well, if you really love someone, you can keep one big secret from them. But Bobby says no matter how big or how small. Oh, by the way, this was the scene that really sold John being the highlight performer of this movie to me. And in addition, when Chi-Chi comes back in the kitchen and we just, oh my God, like we see it all over her face. Nothing has to be said. We know how the conversation ends, even though the camera had cuts away. Sell it. Sell it. Damaged, shattered, heartbroken. Sell it. This is a performance. Yeah. Chi-Chi tells Bobby Lee she can have Bobby Ray, failing to be so casual about it, and Vita praises her for putting someone else's needs before hers, saying, that was step 3, abide by the rules of love. See, y'all just making anything up, huh? The queens officially apologize for the names they called each other earlier and make up. Cut to later where everyone is dolling up Bobby Lee with Ann Baxter on the TV and the 10 Commandments, telling her to study. And Chi-Chi lets Bobby know, you got the look, mommy. You got it. To remember, do the eye thing I taught you.
Be honest with him, all right? Deserves that.
Ew, I'm not gonna cry. That's really stupid. Sorry, I have to pull back. I have to stop that immediately.
Miss Bobby Lee is in her 1956 bag, staring off into the night. Got Bobby Ray wrapped around her finger like a ribbon. He asks to slow dance as the music cues in, and next thing you know, Jimmy Joe asks Beatrice to dance, and all the ladies in the town start dancing with the young bucks. Piggy is at a local bar sounding off to no one about how much he hates homosexuals and how they hold each other in their manly masculine arms with their stubble, and this all sounds very internalized. Virgil sits beside him at the bar eyeing the shoe, and we know exactly where this is going. While trying to fix the Cadillac, Carol tells Vita how much she's gonna miss her, and Vivi chokes up trying to reveal her truth, but hold on. Stop the presses. Carol beats her to it with only 2 words.
Adam's apple?
Only men have Adam's apples, and she noticed it the night that the queens arrived.
Didn't you know?
I know, but I'm very fortunate to have a lady friend who just happens to have an Adam's apple.
They tried the ignition and the Cadillac is back up and running. But of course, they gotta stay for the strawberry social. Sheriff Piggy comes into Snydersville yapping through his megaphone for the queens to come out because he has the whole area surrounded, even though he is only one person. He's telling everybody to mind their business because all he wants is the weirdos. Vita, per usual, always has to do the right thing. Spike Lee, right? So she leaves and we see her come out the cabin with a red veil on. Drama. Everyone else starts coming outside and Virgil, whatever, I can't say his name, I don't care, pulls up as Piggy approaches the woman in red, who lifts up the veil, revealing...
I believe that shoe is mine.
Gagged. Piggy and Virgil are saying she's not the one. Carol tells Virgil to back the fuck off. I am a drag queen. The town starts swarming and Clara asks if she can have her shoe back, please.
You're a drag queen?
Nothing this pretty could be real.
They all start trolling him. I'm a drag queen. I'm a drag king. Do you want to touch my boa? Piggy's calling the queens dangerous as he keeps backing up into his car, humiliated, and eventually leaves. Virgil has a staring contest with Carol before he loses and walks off. She looks so beautiful right here. One of the girls goes looking for the queens. Chi-Chi is hanging on the door. Vita is pretending to be a lamp. And Noxie is hiding under the bed. They said, not today, Satan. The queens are all getting emotional because, in Noxima's words, she didn't even want to come here. Now all these people are standing up for them. Before telling Vita she was right, and now she realizes that you just have to take chances because you never know. Noxima says she's not going to worry about if she makes it in Hollywood or not. She's going to bring Hollywood wherever she goes. That's my baby. God damn it. Then Vita chokes up saying what she wants, which is to go to Bala Kenwood, up to that imitation Tudor style house where she will say, my name is Miss Vita Bohem and your approval is not needed, but I will take your acceptance. And finally, Chi-Chi says she's gonna stand up too, and when she finds her true and honest love, she's never gonna let him go. Hold on.
Here we go.
Piggy is watching this strawberry social from afar as a country man with a dog walks up to him, and he's calling them perverts, you know. The founding fathers of the Constitution, when they wrote liberty and justice for all, they didn't mean that.
Well, I can tell you one thing about them founding fathers of America. They sure had fabulous wigs.
And okay? Everyone is dancing at the social. The queens walk on the picnic table. Very fun, very fun. When the queens load up the car to leave, Beatrice gives Noxima a dress that used to be her Aunt Martha's. And she figured Noxie could use it because, oh honey, she was real big in the shoulders. Vida tells Bobby Lee to keep imagining and remember to moisturize. Clara tells Noxie when she gets to Hollywood to give this letter she wrote to Mr. Robert Mitchum. And when she walks away, Noxima is like, oh, I hope she leaves me those albums in her will. Then Tommy comes up telling her good afternoon, all cleaned up, gelled hair, clean shirt, gone head boy. Vida tells Carol Ann to come with them, and even though she's laid in bed many nights dreaming of getting away, this is her home and she's got the girls to raise. Carol says Vida's full name, telling her she loves her, and that is exactly what Auntie has wanted to hear somebody say her entire life. Vida gives Carol Ann her Wong Foo picture, and surprisingly, Carol recognizes Julie, saying how she always thought she was so statuesque, which I didn't mention, but that was the exact line that she said in the China Bowl. That's good screenwriting, you know, taking whether it could be something as small as dialogue or an item or a piece that has to do with the plot, planting it in the beginning and bringing it back at the end. And there's different ways you can do it. It can be like very simple like this with a character just mentioning something, or it could play into the plot, but it's cute. It adds a little oomph to a story. Carol's last words to Vida are, I don't think of you as a man, and I don't think of you as a woman.
I think of you as an angel.
I think that's healthy.
The final scene is a very, 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 very short clip of the girls in Hollywood at a ball, where a voiceover of Knox says, Step 4, larger than life is just the right size. And the announcer reveals the winner of the Drag Queen of America contest, Chi Chi Rodriguez. And the person to crown her, respectively, is Julie Newmar herself. But then the film goes off. Oh. Okay, not gonna lie, this ending feels like an afterthought. I still feel the same way. I felt it on the second viewing. It just, I don't know, it was giving the audience wasn't satisfied with them leaving Snydersville, and they like, aha, we need to see more. I don't know, I think I just wanted more dialogue and honestly probably some lines from Julie Newmar, but that was until I found out that the only reason she's in the movie was because she had visited the set one day, and it just so happened to be that day, and they were like, hey, come be in the movie, a little cameo. So cute, I guess. One of the film's biggest question marks that I find interesting is how our three protagonists' gender identities are never clarified. Was it deliberately like that? Did the filmmakers not understand the line between a drag queen and a trans person? Who's to say? Aside of that, I'll also say I don't think there was malicious intent with them, nor the actors and the way that they talk about the film. That's honestly a strong point for me. And come to think of it, the way that these guys play these characters are very far from mockery and judgment, which before watching this, I thought that it was kind of gonna be doing that. Maybe that's probably why I held it off for so long, because I don't know. But also, this movie doesn't really play on anything. Anyway, you know, what world would we see Blade, Wesley Snipes, and Patrick Swayze dress up as drag queens, right? Turns out this one, right? Swag. Patrick specifically said he always wanted to challenge himself to see if he can pull this or that off, and more importantly, to understand. All three actors spent time in New York City's drag scene to help get into their roles. Wesley said he based Noxima's humor on his grandmother, Bette Midler on The Wall, then Maya Angelou and Roscoe Lee Brown with The Command and the Control. In 2020, a drag performer by the name of Coco Peru, who had a small role at the beginning of the film, posted a brief video on YouTube reminiscing about working with Patrick Swayze, and she showed the gift that he got her, along with a letter. The gift was a silver Tiffany & Co. makeup compact, which Swayze had sent her as a thank you for providing insight for his role in the film. And Miss Coco thought this was special until she was on the phone with another drag queen who was part of the production, and she let her know he got everybody that gift. Ooh. Well, yeah, he had given them all the same gifts, the ones that he had gotten to know during the production, and I don't know, it's a cute story and it really shows his character. Hats off to all three leads though, but as I said a few times throughout this video, especially John, I just think that he embodied a woman fully. Dude went vegetarian 6 months before filming to get his body smaller. That's dedication. It was everything from the accent, the mannerisms, the body language, just a home run for me. It's also well known that John Leguizamo improvised a lot on the set, and it angered Patrick so much that they niggas was about to scrap. Y'all know Patrick, Mr. Swayze is rest in peace, by the way. I don't think I said that. If you don't know, he passed away in 2009 from cancer. One thing they always said about him was that he was very serious about his craft. And he's got a reputation for being a bit extreme, almost like a perfectionist.
And you know, I had a lot of fights with people on the set because you have artistic differences, you know, and even with Patrick Swayze, rest his soul. You know, we had issues, and we were about to duke it out. We were about to fisticuff each other. Dude, it's like, come on, man, come on.
You were gonna punch out Roadhouse.
And we're dressed like chicks.
Yeah, that's right. We're too Wong Foo, right?
That's what's ridiculous about it. It's too Wong Foo. We're gonna fight. You know, it was like crazy early in the morning. Yeah. We were both into character so much we were actually PMSing at the same time, I guess. And so we're about to punch each other, and Wesley Snipes is like, "Go ahead, John, I got your back."
So Wesley didn't like Patrick either?
It wasn't that we didn't like Patrick. It was just that I don't know. He was going through something, and it was making our lives kind of difficult. You know what's interesting too is the way Patrick eventually put it in his biography. He put that whole incident from a different point of view, which was great for me to see. You know, to see what he thought of that moment.
Did you ever think
Did you call me a little hyperactive wet?
That's what he called you. You see, that's right.
I forgot. He's a funny dude.
That's also racist, by the way.
It was, but I was calling him names too. I was calling him Cracker and Honky. It was all in the moment.
But I will also add to this that the streets say, allegedly, that John was an alcoholic through the 90s. So, look, violence is never the answer, but I mean, imagine your co-stars showing up improvising on the bottle every day. I'd get pissed off too. But going back to the identity thing for a second though, I personally view these three characters as trans. I do. My main argument is that they've never take the drag off the entire film, and we get a small glimpse in the opening scene of them putting it on, but that's it. Even when they're tired or switching locations, they changed outfits and hairstyles. Drag queens don't do that. Drag queens do not do that. They say a lot of drag queens say that drag is uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. They don't. No, this is coming off, but none of these characters do that. So, I'm sorry, these are trans women. Especially Chi-Chi. The reading on her and the entire B story with Bobby Ray not having the heart to reveal the truth about her biology. But Vida also, the internal struggle she had with her family not accepting her new life as Vida Bohem and wanting to march up to her parents' crib and tell them this is who she is and stand tall, and yup, very, very trans. Love it. I won't be too critical on the fantasy aspect or wishful thinking that a couple drag queens can actually fix a broken little country town in such a quick and effortless weekend. Yeah, like I'm not gonna be a Debbie Downer. This is a movie, okay? This is a movie, but not gonna lie, that it's quite ambitious, right? I mean, in these, I can't even say these times, because still the way these conservative towns are set up, this movie would have been 20 minutes long, and it would have been no bueno. I can see the film leaving a bad taste in some people's mouths though, since it does come off very, this was made for straight people to let them know that gay people aren't bad. And to that I say, stop being a pooper. Look at the popular actors who are in it. What did you expect? The big argument with Vida and Chi-Chi also made me think of something else.
You know, I'm just so sick and tired of this freakazoid white lady telling the black lady and the Latin lady which way is up, down, and under because she's vanilla white superior.
And Vida's whole thing is the we must help others line. It does come off very white savior trope, which is a narrative device where a white person is portrayed as the morally superior, uplifting, selfless hero to help all the minority people. But I, however, wouldn't give Vida that much power. There were things Chi-Chi did that showed the older aunties that they needed to take chances to see change. She got Bobby Ray to pick them up, and she also got them a nice stay at the host. The biggest thing Noxima did was bring the light out of Clara and get her talking again, and she also tightened up the rednecks, telling them to put a clean shirt on and be respectful, blah blah. So I don't subscribe to the white savior. I think everyone contributes to saving in one form or another. This film's message and morality I find extremely beautiful. I don't view Vida, Noxima, and Chi-Chi all as just characters, but influential blueprints for every queen, every baby gay, every outsider who's ever had to walk into a room, sticking out like a sore thumb and all, and make it their own. To Wong Foo isn't just us watching drag queens be fabulous, but spreading that fabulousness. Showing this small town with just a little glitter what they're capable of. Bringing the community together. Showing them the beauty and stepping into someone else's world or someone else's heels, if you will, and realizing that kindness, and I don't care how cheesy this sounds, can actually change lives. What do you think about To Wong Foo? Thanks for everything. What are some of your memories or some of your favorite lines of dialogue in the film? Comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, give your man a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you're new here and turn on that bell notification so you get notified whenever I post a new video. In the meantime, queens, girls, gays, boys, he, she's, theys, we, whatever. Okay, I love every single one of you beautiful people. I hope Pride Month is treating you well so far. And if you're not already, I'm here to remind you to take care of your mind, take care of your body, and take care of your spirit.